Alright, just one more run. Seriously, just the one. That's it. One more run. One more run is back, this time with Skul the Hero Slayer, so I can say welcome to all the skeletons and monsters out there. Because in Skul the Hero Slayer, you play as the Bone on difficulty 7, which I think is relatively okay for a vid like this. I don't want to go too low or else you all might not get the pogs that you can out of it. And if I go too high, well, to be frank, the game's actually hard, and I don't really feel like dying that much. A run of Skul the Hero Slayer starts off the same way. I like to pick up 2 different skulls, which is like the main thing that Skul the Hero Slayer is all about, is that each skull is basically a different character with its own movesets. Usually I will go 1 magic, 1 physical, which these are my 2 like favorite starting magic and physical. 1 damaging item and then 1 money item, which both can use both of them until I decide that we need to like fine tune it to 1 specific thing. And then you kind of just hop right in. The goal of Skul the Hero Slayer is to defeat the humans. The humans are actually the bad guys here. They broke the treaty with the Demon King and have invaded Demon King Castle. So we are here to punish the evildoers, aka people who have picked up some kind of like dark quartz magic power, as well as corrupted some of our buddies, or even captured them, like they captured her. I'm gonna actually free her, but we aren't gonna use the mechanic. This one happens to let you change your skills around. I do like my skill on the ice one, which is this, AoE freeze. And then Minotaur has a slam, which is also pretty good. Reward is money. We get a choice of doors. The door, we will almost always be going for the skull one. Skulls are not only the characters, but also a resource. It's bones that you pick up. Okay, I thought I was gonna die there. That was an elite. And the elites in this game all have powers to them and can easily ruin your entire run. Like I said, starting off with these 2 is almost always good for me. Like, I don't know if I would use anything else, really. Why my screen turned dark? Ow? Oh my god, I got juggled. I don't know why my screen turned dark. It's like, am I in a cave? Usually that happens if a monster does a special effect, but there's nothing here. This is Skeleton Pike, which is about like dashing into enemies. I think we're all set. It's not bad, but I do not believe that's what I want to play right now. Sometimes I gotta get rid of the small fry, because they're just constantly dealing damage. Wow, I actually hit my head on the ceiling and did damage to me. This game is very punishing with damage taken. And it has a lot of stuff that's like increase your damage by taking additional damage. The orb behind it didn't move, so I got a little worried there. There's no health pot in this game. All the healing you'll get is like in the run itself, or an NPC that you'll find, like this one here. It's a little early to use that though, so I'm gonna leave her locked up. More bones. This is Water Skull. So like potentially we could have 2 magic skulls to start off with, which is better than like the hybrid setup. The L2 on this just sends like a wave coming towards my character. It's not bad. I think there are better skills out there for Water Skull. Water Skull is actually kind of weird because it has a meter under your health bar, which is, I don't know what they call it. It is a, oh, they just call it charges. Oh, they call it moisture. See, I knew it was something. The moisture gauge. Whenever you do basic attacks with a filled gauge, it sends out a little wave. I don't think this character necessarily wants attack speed, but you do have to do basic attacks whenever you can. This is magic damage. This is technically magic damage eventually. We could even look for things like relic and dizziness. Because I don't really want to reroll this much. Guess we'll grab this too. Rerolling this early in order to find synergies. If you look at the left-hand side, there are inscriptions. And when we match enough of those, you get bonus effects. Right now, we could try to get as much as we can, but the focus is on getting magic attack. There's the stun. The one sucky part about some of the skulls I have, what they call power skulls, do not have very good aerial combat. Lady, could you, like, stop for a second? So this is, like, not the best fight for me. Until she lands. Change. Oh, that's a healing field. So this LARP fight right here, like I said, we're fighting humans. This happens to be versus the mage and the... Ooh, nice. Nun? Acolyte? I don't know what you want to call it, but it's a healer. So she's getting ambient heals from her partner, which is off screen right now. All right, so she's done. Nothing from that. There's the healer. Nothing from her. When casting a skill, create a burning orb, hurls a fireball at the nearest enemy. Or you go for more bones. I think I need 30 bones to transform my water skull. So, oddly enough, I'm thinking about taking Mage's Necklace just to get some power on the table, some damage. Yeah, 30. Every skeleton, well, the skulls themselves, we can sell the skull to get bones for it, but that was only 5. But that's probably the best part about this game is seeing a transformation. Oh, there it is. I was like, there's some kind of thing buffing these monsters. Oh, I was gonna say, is my controller broken? Why am I not going left? So I do damage. Enough to kill this stuff. It's just like, my kit's awful. I don't mind the 2 skulls I have, but the power one, the water skull, we definitely need something. Every time we swap, we do an attack too, and I feel like the swap is actually the best part. I mean, I hit that kind of off screen. That wasn't too bad. We gotta see what the evolution is. The evolution will give us like a better version of that skill. And then also like probably some base changes. Maybe it changes my moisture meter. Ow, 12 damage? This is gonna hurt. Yeah, this one has cannons. That's what the elite buff is. I have cannons. More money. The other option besides money and skulls is items. But as I said, we are like really going deep on skulls right now. Yo. Alright, we gotta get this. Because like not only was everything in a barrier, but monsters were like teleporting to me. Take this out. This is only the first biome. Plays just like any other action roguelike where you go through multiple biomes. I like to believe that unless you're at max difficulty, the biomes don't really get tough until like biome 3. Biome 2 if you're like severely unlucky. I should be checking up here too. Make sure it's not something I want to buy. Fairy Tale is like not that bad. This gives us damage for spending money. I like that. Everything else is relatively okay to skip. This is bones. 10 bones for $800. Seems like a scam. That is quite a lot of money, but technically I'll be able to evolve. Even more bones for almost the same price. How did that happen? Okay. Yeah, I haven't really played, I believe it's Poseidon by the end of this. The fully evolved version of this skull. I haven't played this in quite a while. So my hope Wow, I didn't take any damage from that. Because I froze it. Interesting. My hope is that Poseidon does enough to carry us. I remember it being relatively decent. The ice is also very good as iframes. I can kind of use the swap to go invulnerable, and then I freeze enemies when I pop out of it. It's a very versatile Skul, if you ask me. But of course, if anything better shows up, I will be swapping. I am not married to either one of these. Bruh, 19 damage. Oh my god, another hit, because the freaking barrel here. I'm not complaining. All I'm saying is that this game is a lot harder than you may think. I don't know what the current win rates are in this game. But I would not be surprised if this qualifies as a, like, the roguelike you never beat kind of game. Could make a whole video just on that premise alone. The roguelike you couldn't beat. Or refuse to beat. This came back. That version of... So there's a bunch of different fairy tale items. This one happens to be the shadow one, which is one of the better ones. Living Ama is certainly fun. And to get it this early means that you probably don't do Poseidon at all. And you just run this. Let's read it. A little bit of a paragraph. When dealing damage to enemies with normal attacks, gain charges in the form of Flame Spirit. When the Flame Spirit gauge is fully charged, it goes into the state of combustion, dealing continuous magic damage. When a skill is used during combustion, the skill is enhanced. Amp skill damage with a field of Spirit Flame, and then amp skill damage and range on the sword. I think it does an attack. I don't think it just does the amp and that's it. We'll see though. Like, I'm pretty sure we'll blow up this boss, but it'll be very interesting if at base value this is not as strong as I think it is. This is also going to cost 100 bones to level up. Oh, so I was already enhanced. That was the enhanced version of the slash, which is probably why it said like amp stuff. Oh, dang. See, like, it's so awkward trying to fight these monsters sometimes. Ow. Whoa. A lot of damage that I took. We do get a refresh on my skills when I use the amped version. I do have the hit list on this already. I don't need to, like, go over the achievement here. Nice. Yeah, so the one issue about this skull is I have to do basic attacks to fill the gauge. Oh, I didn't know about the tendrils at the end of that. Nice. Took a bit of damage, a lot more than I would have liked, but I think that's only because it's kind of hard for me to do these basic attacks. I wonder if that means I need to go attack speed. There's some decent magic attack speed stuff. Balanced skulls get additional skill cooldown. This is a power skull, unfortunately. The ice one is balanced, though. So I think we'll take it for now. It also gives us one more wisdom, which is magic amp. So now, after every boss, we get some buffs. 2 of which are RNG, which are in the middle. They're also, like, cursed, I suppose. Trance, decrease your magic attack. Increase it by 20% per 1 second upon damaging an enemy with a maximum of 200%. The effect is removed if you don't damage an enemy for 5 seconds. So, funny enough, I kind of think that this skull can use it. The issue with trance is that, like, as soon as you walk into an area, you're gonna be doing, like, very low damage. This might be a throw. I could get rid of it later, like after being the second boss. On bosses, it should be like pretty impactful. Leave a mark on the enemies. Upon accumulating 3 marks, all marks will disappear and deal damage. I think we can run this too, because what we're looking for is that the living flame does a lot of damage, like ambient passive damage, and I think each of those counts as an attack. We'll be able to see. I think. Like, I'm expecting... Yeah, so that little slash on them, I think that's the mark we're looking for. And of course, we are doing, like, less damage as we, kind of don't do anything. I have to fight. It's almost a speedrun setup. It's not that bad. I don't think the game tells me how much bonus damage I've stacked up either. Like, as far as the game is concerned, it's just an active buff, so good luck knowing what it's doing. Yeah, so see all that? I don't know if I got the proc just based on the fire itself. This game has a lot to it. Not everything is, like, fully just set. Sometimes you have to look. Alright, this is a shop. 35% heal. I'm gonna try my best to not heal myself here. Mutant Dizziness. Alternating the 3rd time inflicts magic damage and knocks up enemies. This is assuming that we want to swap a lot. When swapping, create a spirit flame dealing magic damage and then charge your gauge. That's actually pretty nice. Maybe we do want to swap a lot. Let's get rid of the physical attack. Because, like, it's 30% for free without me having to worry about doing basic attacks. And then swapping into Ice Skull is just good in general. Increase magic attack by 25%, crit damage up, swapping to a balanced skull, which is my ice one, does stuff. But I don't think we want the other pieces. Based on the number of balanced skulls owned, the damage and AoE of the storm increases, which we have 1. Swapping refreshes cooldowns. Mana Bone is actually just nice to have in general. But I don't think we're gonna swap into a balanced skull thing unless some very, very specific stuff shows up. And it's gotta show up fast, or else I will guarantee change. This is skill cooldown and alternation speeds. I think that's fine. And then everything else stays. Because I don't really want just like raw attack speed. I want some kind of magic power along with it. Continue down the bone train. Wow, nice dodges. Yeah, it's almost like we should, oh wow, probably swap as often as possible. And that's how we're gonna feed our meter. Eventually, I think that flame is gonna be on the entire screen. It's gonna be really nice, I promise. Not hope, I promise. Yeah, it may be that basic attacks do the mark. No, I think my skills are doing it. It's hard to tell like what constitutes as an attack in this game. 12 damage for free. Trust me, I was trying my best to not get hit by that. I'll heal in the shop if I have to. My hope is that we're fine. Nice. We gotta hope that this gives us enough bones to transform. I mean, even if it doesn't, we're probably fine. Yeah, I was gonna say, you must be in the lead. Some monsters do drop healing flasks. Ooh, that was really good damage. I don't know, I feel like we have damage. It just, like, the game told us we have a 50% cut. So a 50% cut is a pretty big number. Alright, so we're at 93. If the skull in this gives us 10 bones, we will be able to transform. 2v1 situation. I gotta go for him. I can't go for that mage. Just not happening. My R2 will hit. Ooh, good position. They're both ulting. And now they are both dead. I had to hold back a bit. I wasn't sure if it was gonna line up with me saying they're both dead. Sometimes these will drop stuff. 11 bones. We get a fully digivolved living armor. I have not played this in a long time. I don't even know if I have a win. Well, I must, because I have all achievements. So, this is the new living armor. Oh my god, the wall of text. When dealing damage to enemies with normal attacks, get the charge. With gauge, go into state of combustion, dealing continuous magic damage. That seems new. When fully charged twice, it becomes stable. Huh? When the skill is used while stable, the skill is enhanced even further and consumes a portion of spirit flames. Amps create spirit flames on a wide area. Amped, when the player raises their swords, the spirit flame surges. What do you mean? Oh, okay, I see. So it still does like the basic kit, but then to actually overcharge it, oh wow, when I form change, I get like an X number of gauge. Wow, okay. Yo, a little bit of pro tip here. You can always like get some meter before you go into the next area. And then spend it there. That was a lot of flame. Hang on, hang on. Don't get hit. I think they're getting the cuts on them. Hey, you wonder what kind of action roguelike Skul the Hero Slayer is? It is definitely a busted build hunter. Yeah, now we do want to transform as much as possible. Because it feeds the gauge passively without me having to do basic attacks. It is unfortunate, like, when I have to press a button, though, and spend all of that energy. Can I, like, stop getting hit? Between the Maid Sama and that Black Butler or whatever that's stabbing me, I have not avoided taking damage. No idea what the issue is. Ooh, wow. Is that broken? I feel like that has to be broken. But there's gotta be like a Skul the Hero Giga expert out there who would say, no, V, this is actually a C-tier skull. There's stuff that is far stronger than this. Alright, let's roll this a little bit. One of these is guaranteed to be legendary. That's the other bone. Using a skill summons the area of bones that last, increase your damage. It gives us swapping the third time. Refreshes your cooldowns and makes you invulnerable. Which I think could be fun. We can opt out of dizziness at this point. Oh, we're losing the one brawl, but I think that's okay. We lost the chance at the legendary from that, but I'm not like super concerned. So, attack speed, we don't really need cooldown reduction. And then different forms of mutant. I believe mutant like increases our cooldown reduction and amps the swaps damage. Or we get nothing at all. That could also happen. Artifact Execute. Dealing 50% of the enemy's max HP summons tendrils that damage nearby. That's actually like relatively strong for us. I could drop 1 wisdom, even though we're like decently close. Oh, we just dropped the mage necklace. All this is doing is hurling a fireball. And I best believe we do not be hurling some fireballs. We can do a lot more than that. All right. The last reroll will possibly be too much. So we're gonna grab Wisdom 4. And then I think we're good until we see the rest of Mutant. Like I said, I may have done a slight misplay by taking that last podium. Because what that ends up doing is... Oh wow, I just took so much damage. I didn't heal myself either. I didn't really want to. But obviously me taking that much damage ain't helping. Oh yeah, I can see the slashes. So it's definitely working. I mean, I could just swap on the fly. That's like really good. So even though we're fully transformed, I wouldn't mind transforming this skull as well. The ice one. And then we are able to put our bones towards like leveling up stats. Because I will be swapping a lot, so it would be nice to have like these finished off. That's Gargoyle, which is another magic skull. Not an awful one either. I actually don't mind it at all. So I still get Gage during the cutscene. This is Boss 2. Dr. Eggman and his 2 daughters. The Liurnia daughters. Usually a decent fight for me, but sometimes if your skull is too thick, their hitboxes are kind of wonky. Alright. Oh, I only caught one with that. Alright, ignite the whole arena! You're still alive. Maybe I chill. Because she will leave, and the other one will come in, and then I can start like lowering both their HP. May as well do my swaps while we're at it. Get some gauge. I completely messed that up. Alright, who are you? You're the wrong one! Why'd she come back? Why didn't her sis take over? That's toxic. Oh my god, she swiped the bottom of the screen and I didn't even see it. That's incredible. Power Skulls are not very good at dodging either. That's partly where our iframes come in. Ignite the arena. Ignite the battle. Like it's Marvel Rivals or something. Not bad, not bad. We have to figure out like what else we can do to amp the fire damage. I think there's one more dark ability that does something with that. As we can see, basic attacks aren't really required at all. This is Mutant. When swapping, increase attack speed and crit rate, which I don't think we need to be doing. Swapping increases magic attack by 60% for 12 seconds and does some burn. It's not nothing. We don't have a quintessence either. Solo performance charms enemies and they can't move. Explode, knocking back enemies. We can go with the charm. We probably won't get a lot of use out of it in biomes, but in like actual boss fights, that's gonna be pretty legit. Time limited life. Dash cooldown will disappear, but lose 2 HP each time you dash. Crit rate is fixed at 50%, but damage is decreased. That's not terrible, because there are some magic items that have to do with crit, which we saw a couple of. And like you could just have a 50% crit rate by default. Oh wow, this isn't able to be leveled up. I thought we could like giga invest into this thing. I think heads or tails is probably fine. I usually like leave a space for Death Defiance as well. Let's see, so no matter what, we want to get the skill amp, which I can never find. Increase fizz and magic every second. It gets reset after dealing damage to an enemy. So it's like, it's a one-shot setup. You don't want to use it. Well, you can't really use it that often. It's like the first monster you find gets blown up. This is the one I was looking for. Skill damage dealt to the same enemy is amped for 2 seconds. And if we max that out, it will be like fairly strong. So maybe we don't go for heads or tails, and we just play it safe with Death Defiance. And then we will be maxing this out. Unless something like very specific for crit shows up, we're probably okay. Alright, so we can do the transformation. This is 30 bones. Now we have the second version of the Ice Skull. So now we are using an L2 that hits multiple areas, just like our living armor. And then the R2 is like a spike in front of me. Which honestly, like, I don't really like that version all that much. It has a dash attack, and I don't remember what the other one is. Maybe a swipe. That sounds familiar. I did spend some bones for some damage. I probably should have gone for HP instead. Okay, I did not kill everything over there, but I can't stay over there, unfortunately. Okay, this is gonna transform. Yep. Alright, my bad. Gonna say maybe I can do this. Okay, it froze, but then it unfroze like right away. That was my bad for letting this thing transform anyway. Alright, so you're dead. I'm gonna wait around to see if it drops life. Like a freaking Gundam in here. What in the world? Yeah, so I am messing up my gameplay a little bit. Notice that I have not gone to like max charge in a while. So we're already playing it wrong. Get some bones. The answer is truly swap whenever it's up. Even the swap by itself does some like real damage. Whoa, okay. We have Artifact 4, which is doing fireballs. And it's like pretty decent. I feel like I'd rather just up my own magic attack. I don't think I need an item doing that for me. Ha, that's funny. This is, I believe, a new skull that they introduced in their last update. It is physical, so we're not taking it. I'm gonna do a rare heal. And then we start looking for anything that fits. Oh wow, I have no money. Yeah, so see stuff like this, crit rate up, slash the enemy on doing crits. That's like a little bit closer to how a crit setup could happen in this setup, but I think we're fine without. We still need the last mutant. See what the quintessence feels like. Oh wait, why is the Gundam there? I don't remember there being a summoning circle. Yeah, that was just a natural spawning Gundam? I feel like that doesn't make much sense. Still cramming bones right now. We don't really need the stun tech anymore. Nice. Yeah, I guess that's why you can't level up the 3-hit skill thing. It's actually very strong. It's a lot stronger than I thought it was. Oh, everything died over there. Genie is a very good swap for physical players. The Genie itself goes into the lamp a lot, which gives you iframes. Kind of what we're doing with this skull right now. The ice one is just like our iframe skull. I don't really know what hit me just then. I wonder if I can just hit these from down below. I can. That is the power of Skul the Hero Slayer. Now keep in mind, not every skull in the game is a, like, wipe the board skull. A lot of them are attack based, a lot of them are cooldown based. Like being able to spam a skill over and over again. I'm almost at 100 bones. I'll be able to transform. Alright, these will all get charmed, we hope. Did not stay charmed for very long. I think I saw my invulnerability from the swap mechanic. Like, swap 3 times. Nice. I still took a decent amount of damage. That did feel, like, pretty comfy. There's the first item drop. Nothing we can use. And then some bones. And now we have a max level ice skull. In the spirit of full disclosure, I'd like to say that I have died probably 5 times in a row trying to record this. And most of the time, it's because I took things that increase the damage I take and deal at the same time. Perhaps that's bad. But see, like, you just take random damage in this game. Oh wow, it just froze the whole map, and I'm gonna burn the whole map. Some sick synergy. Yeah, all the monsters up there died. Now it's just this stuff that's gonna spawn. It's just you're taking, like, pop shots. Just 8 damage here, 10 damage there, and it adds up super quickly. We're still cramming bones because we can up our stats from that. However, I'm pretty sure that there's a scenario where I should probably swap and go for items instead of going for bones. Like, you would think that, oh, we don't really need items because we are killing stuff. But we could get rid of Hate Stone and Old Cross. And maybe even that necklace. All of that can go, I think. There's some kind of secret over here. But it's like, it's gonna be super annoying, I can already tell. It's money? It's a lot of money, actually. 6,000 bucks? I guess I had some shielding, so maybe that was fine. I will heal myself. We'll just say that hopefully I got more than $1,300 in there. Alright. Skill cooldown speed up. When swapping, get concentration speed, which we're not utilizing at all. That's heritage. Like, get any item in the heritage tree. Yeah, some of this stuff I don't recognize just from like looking at it. Some I like have a pretty good idea that this is physical and not magical. Dashing cuts enemies. Mana tech and chase. Dash tech. A lot of dash tech in this game. If I restock, I will not have enough money to buy anything. We could go for Execute 2. That gives us... Leaves a mark on enemies below 60%. Damage to that enemy is amped. I think that's worth. Alright. Looking good so far. Let's go for item. I feel as though we have like relatively no items. Again, I don't know what the Giga experts who main Skul the Hero Slayer would say, but I would love some items, not gonna lie. This thing lived. I actually went into the spikes. I think each slime can drop its own healing items. Alright, 1 damage, that's not bad. Next area. Wow, we have not gotten a single item door. This is like my first one. More concentration tech, and I'm pretty sure... Create a large energy field, summon an iceberg. Attacking the iceberg launches shards. I did not know it does that. I don't think I've ever actually pressed that button. I typically ignore it. That is more artifact. We'll be over on wisdom, but I can get rid of the 1 wisdom I have for 35% magic attack just to get rid of this thing, Old Cross. Or you do this, start looking towards 6 artifact, which I feel like is way more than you actually need. At least in this setup. I guess if I have to go between bones or money, you go bones. Ooh, give me the shield. I can't seem to stop taking damage. Oh my god. So I played a lot of Skulls in my day. A lot of which are attack speed based. And it's almost like, why would I want to do basic attacks when I can nuke the whole board like that? Clown's a nice hybrid. It does physical skills. The swap is magical. I don't know if the basic attacks are magical, but it has like a really cool 5 hits, do a stack of something, and then like it detonates on the 5th hit. Alright, bring this out. Boom, boom, swap. We gotta do basic attacks though. I guess there's nothing wrong with me swapping. Let's try the R2. You know, I kinda like burning the ground better, just to say that. Wait, I like double swapped. That was weird. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. It's almost like the game gave me the benefit of the doubt, saying, oh, you did not want to swap here. Oh, it must refresh the cooldown on the swap. Like the 3rd swap can insta-swap. Right? Swapping for the 3rd time refreshes the swap cooldown. That's exactly what it does. Alright, this is bleeding. Poison. Poison enemies die at 20% life. Using a skill releases toxin that poisons nearby enemies, and you all know I am not nearby these enemies for the most part. Master Brawler, magic attack up, further increase when you're near 4 or more enemies, which we are not doing. Summon 3 imps, they deal magic damage and hurl fireballs for burn. Looks like we're selling. Kind of surprised about that. I figured we would have gotten something from here. My max HP is pretty low, but it's kind of hard to increase your max HP in this game. Alright. Last present. Create a time bomb on enemy kill. Inferno, burn duration down, burn damage up. We're definitely amping this. This costs 5. Wowee. But we're not done. We still have this full biome left. Give me some life. I'm feeling a little vulnerable. Damage feels okay right now. But I don't want to be in a situation where I think I can die in like 3 hits. So far, so good. I would like to say, if I were to die on the final boss at this point, I would be okay with that. I would feel satisfied. And really, one more run, it's all about viewer satisfaction. Like, if I could just have you all to say, oh yeah, V, like I left this video with a smile on my face, then I know we did the right thing. See how much damage I took? Already lost 50 HP. We're regenerating some of that back thanks to that thing at the top. I jumped! I yumped. We need mutant. Items. We haven't seen any omens yet, which are basically cursed items. I don't think I would take one because the curse increases the damage you deal. Well, it increases the damage dealt to yourself. You could potentially use it for like some kind of like impressive damage bonus, but I don't think we'll find one that does it for us. 24. Wow, okay. Is this a legendary? Oh, yeah. Embers explode at the end of burn duration. Swapping, this is mutant. Summons a multi-dimensional prism. It does physical damage, though. This is part of Dizzy. Increase magic attack by 50%. Creates a shockwave at the end of stun. Stun's damage is proportional to the damage dealt to the enemy. This would be to replace... what? Harleon's staff. We go down to only 3 wisdom. Oh, we gotta replace this thing. And we go down by 1 artifact, which is fine. Alright. We're using a lot of money to heal ourselves. This is Fairy Tale and Wisdom. Lou follows you around, calling down barriers of light every 18 seconds, which might be a little slow for our purposes. This further increased by 55% when you are near 2 or fewer enemies, so like specifically bosses. I don't really care for this thing. Lightning strikes on nearby enemies. I dare say I'd rather have the damage amp. It's not really amp, it's... because I think amp in this game is multiplicative. So this is all like added damage. Alright. Hate these things. This is the hardest enemy in the game right here. I cannot fight those without taking a hit. I don't know what it is. There's something about it. Nuke the board. It's like you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! You just have like a full 8,000 life points worth of damage just to throw out. And the monster can't do it. Well, the monster. The other player can't do anything about it unless they have A lot of meteors. Unless they have the meteor monster where, like, if you special summon 5 things, you get to nuke their board in return. Pretty fun. I should probably open this up. We don't need her to come back. We have everything I want. Though I guess I could replace this thing's attack. Get rid of the R2 button. We just have to keep the floor. I lost it. We need the floor freeze. Oh no, did I just brick? Okay, that's better. So we still have floor freeze, say that 5 times fast. And we have a new R2, which is a swipe ahead of me. Swing a blade. You can hold it down for concentration. Wow. Let's see what the concentration version looks like. Huh. Okay. I respect it. This thing has barrier. I guess when I swap, I can do my L2 R2 for free. 1 living armor. Ignite the battle. This is pretty good, just to say that. It's not every day where my Skul the Hero Slayer build is, like, actually pretty good. And I don't think it's, like, all on the backbone of living armor. Though it very well could be. I would not be surprised if someone in the comments said, V, this is literally just living armor. All the time. Anytime I take living armor, it does exactly this. And give me no credit for build making. This is bones, I believe. Because I need to do the swaps, okay? Without the swaps, this is nothing. How else will I burn the entire battlefield? Items? Yeah, technically, we already got some profit from going to item rather than Skul. Sheesh. One day, he will stop taking damage. Yeah, that thing didn't completely die, but it got pretty low. Really, the answer is we gotta swap as much as possible. This is mutant. Upon swapping, I got hit by something random. Upon swapping, Omen's aura covers the surrounding area, dealing damage according to your magical attack. This is considered a swap skill. That's Omen, which increases our damage taken. But it is mutant, which is technically what we're looking for. I think Golden Wand is fine. We're sitting on Execute 3 right now, so we're a little bit over on Execute. Abyssal Virus. It says it works. Damaging an enemy at 50% of their life does the tendrils, so it does work. Like, is there a world where Mana Bone comes out? And then we have to find a way to get Bone back? Oh, and I'm still sitting on this. We just go down to Wisdom 3, unfortunately. I mean, ideally, this does have to go. Alright, so, as I said earlier, in the spirit of full disclosure, I have died lots of times. Mostly because I'm taking omens. And this may be a scenario where, you know, we die again. Especially against Sasuke. This is probably my hardest fight. I really do not enjoy this fight. But because I hit the whole arena, maybe it's not as bad. Surely, if he's down there, he's taking damage. Yeah, I forgot we can use L2, R2. Hit that. Do one of these. He's about to ult. The issue is that with Power Skulls, and like we're taking extra damage too. And I lost Bone. I do have 2 Death Defiances. I got hit there. Oh wow, was I not full on energy? There it is. So there's my first Death Defiance. But honestly, I don't mind that much if I could just get past him. That was weird. Oh, the charm. He must have, like, disappeared and got charmed afterward. Very annoying fight. We did lose the Death Defiance from the Dark ability, so technically I can add a new Dark ability. Let us get the max HP. This is interesting because, like, the charm from this, I wonder if it's better than the charm from this. This does its own magic damage eventually, but the succubus charms the monster right next to me, which will typically be a boss, and it's instant. All right, some damage, a little bit more life. This is actually cooldown reduction and attack speed. I thought it was swap speed. All right, my bad. We didn't need that. All right, so we need the last piece of bone and the last piece of mutant. And I believe we'll be good. Like, I can do that. Wow, I got shot from off the screen. Skul the Hero Slayer, just to say this, is probably one of the worst games in terms of visibility. If you ever tried this game and you thought, V, I can never tell what's happening in this game because there's too many effects on the screen, you are not alone. I completely agree with you. And they never added much for accessibility in this game. I don't know what happened, but I would say the easiest thing for them to do is have some sliders to be able to, like, determine what gets shown and what doesn't. But that's just not in the game. No one seemed to want that, I guess. It's a us issue only. Us common folk who only have, like, maybe 50 hours in the game. Jeez. Anytime I get hurt by these monsters, they increase the amount of damage I take. That is a special mechanic on this map only. We've seen some altars that will reduce that. They hit twice! 15 damage. So this is probably because we're taking 50% more from the Omen. Which is why I usually don't like taking these. Wow, Arc Lick. This one's pretty good. It also hits the whole field. Summons multiple chains that strike from the ground. Summons multiple sprouting chains mid-air. This also gets a gauge when it's not in an idle state. When the gauge is full, up square to do Death Trap. Every 10 seconds, summons chain attacks at random enemies. Chains can be summoned on location of up to 5 enemies. I like our iframes though, but this is technically like, yes, also hit the whole map. That does do it. I don't think it's stronger than our setup, but it certainly works. I'm gonna snap. I'm gonna snap. And like, I need these doors to open so I can break the vase that's inside. There we go, there's one. Apparently I get no meter. There we go, finally, we're in. Hacker man, I'm in. I take more damage. Okay, so that's done. Another Omen chest. Bone, but it's power. This one's artifact, but we can't do more. Bone rapidity, normal attacks deal magic damage and does stuff based on speed skulls. We are all set on that. Let us heal. And then we gotta make some adjustments. So what we're looking for, we still need one piece of mutant. The only thing that we could probably get rid of is this, because we have execute 3. Well, this one's actually not bad. The other execute is this. Master Fighter, so that could go. And then of course we have this, which is Dizziness, and that could probably go as well. On the lookout for mutant, magic damage. Voodoo Doll's not bad, that's another Death Defiance. Go back up to Artifact 4. I don't think we want to do that. I know like an additional Death Defiance. Oh, Dark Paladin was the other like balance skull I wanted. I know Death Defiance is a pretty good pickup here. Oh wow, I don't have much money. I think we do this. We already have Bone 2. So Mutant 3. That's gonna give us, depending on the current skull's grade, damage dealt to enemies with the swap skill is amped. And then that's execute. Could like get a random fortress if we want, or a random duel. We don't have the money. Okay. More item. Because I still feel like this might be the right choice. And then like the Omen counts as a swap skill according to the item. Oh dang, I did like 1/2 second too early. It'd be funny to think that like I'm actually doing more damage with Ice Skull. I assume that's not the case. I hope that's not the case. Mastery, but it's physical. Magic attack in the air. And then Corruption Zone on crit. Interesting. Alright, keep it going, keep swapping. Wow, what a monster to be invulnerable. That is very, very not fun. 36 damage. Like I said, that monster is one of the hardest in the game. It teleports to you, it drops traps, it has ranged attacks, it has literally everything. Oh my god, I was hoping that it would break from the ice. Boom! Alright, let me out. Now we are on to the boss fight. HP is a little low, and we are taking some extra damage. But if we get a good series of skills, which I have like full meter, this This does very well if you can hit the whole screen. It's a good matchup for us. Unlike the Sasuke that we fought earlier. Sasuke is probably going to be harder than this fight. If I lose to this, however, it might still go up on one more run. Honestly, like, I will take the L. Alright, gotta go to the other one. Of course, they keep changing their vulnerability. Alright, so that one's gone. Yeah, one thing I'm not doing, as soon as I do the Giga Flame, I can do basic skills after, but I seem to just not want to do it. Swap again. Just keep that energy flowing. No idea what Jones doing. Should I care? That's something. I didn't know where the safe spot was. Okay. Now that's an enemy that does not move, right? So obviously it's gonna be like that. That's the second time they show me Voodoo Doll. Is that a sign? Brawl Dizziness. Stunning an enemy does an aftershock, does magic damage, and increase skill cooldown speeds. Oh wow, this is a mutant. So I feel like I can't take this off for no reason. Like, how much do we care about Armor of Fear? I just feel like it is 50% damage, but do we have, like, redundant dizziness right now? I believe Voodoo Doll does increase your damage once you die. Once it actually gets used. Yeah, maybe we do, because we are taking extra damage, right? It's gonna suck to lose the dizziness part. Which was stun duration by 1 second, so like that is a little unfortunate. This thing's giving us 70% magic attack. So I feel like a lot of times, your swaps have to be based on how much magic attack you're actually getting. Whether it's like right now or in the long run. Damage dealt to enemies with higher HP than you is amped, while damage taken from enemies lower HP percent is increased. And then this, you get shielding when recovering a lot of HP. So nothing we can do here. Let's just go for damage of some kind. There's not a lot of survivability we can add. When attacking an enemy, deal damage with a 1 second cooldown. Additional damage is amped each time damage is dealt to the same enemy consecutively. That's us. That's so us. Alright, I believe this is our last one of these. So we are getting some damage. Life. Gonna alternate. Even though I do feel like life is more important. Of course, if the monster was dead, then who needs life, right? Alright, home stretch. This is like a victory lap. Oh yeah, don't forget, like, we deal less damage until the moment where, like, I don't know how this calculates. Every second, we're getting 20% damage. So in 3 seconds, we go back to normal. And then after that, it's all profit from there. Stonks. However, it is important to keep in mind that my first hit does, like, the least damage possible. Alright, so this is the final shop. 35% heal. Rerolling is gonna cost us 13 grand. Double absolute zero is freeze. We do have to get rid of that execute. Could technically go back to Dizzy. This is mutant antique. Skill cooldown speed and concentration. I just don't want the concentration. Even though it does help this, I feel like that's not necessary. And then this is 2,000 bucks. Artifact mystery, magic attack per attack speed. Artifact absolute zero. Freezing enemies triggers the frost magic. We do have freeze in the kit. I just don't know if that's worth $3,000. Right? And then what do you take off? Do that. I think it's just this. You just go dual. And then we won't have money for anything else, but that's like not bad at all. All right, continue the victory lap. We're not even done yet. Skul at max difficulty, I would say that the runs are fairly long. Especially for an action roguelike. But they do want you to get like a full sense of like power creep. I think that's the most important part about this game, is the sense of like, I got strong. Yeah, it's like the first hit does next to no damage. And then after that, like, we are destroying. Do some swaps. Not quite the final boss, but this is the final boss that you may be used to if you have played this game before. There will be stuff after this. Instantly took damage. I did charm him, but look at like visibility. I would say near zero right now. Like, I didn't even know my guy was like all the way in the corner. Really? It is a little bit of a patience fight. I just swear the free skull is so tiny. Oh my god. And then I did my R2. He still ended up dying. We're definitely losing Voodoo Doll here, I think. But like, the number of things on the bottom of the screen is completely hiding the free skull. It's quite incredible, actually. I know this fight relatively well. Famous last words, of course. What's he doing? I finally learned how to dodge that thanks to someone in Twitch. They said it's basically a double jump. You're invulnerable. There's something. Maybe Voodoo Doll? And then I believe the cycle resets. Oh wow, another Death Defiance just procced. That was a command grab. And this is another command grab. So I lost Voodoo Doll, and I lost my basic Death Defiance. So Voodoo Doll now increases magic attack by 60. So that's like the base effect on it. And I really didn't, or at least I feel like I didn't take that many hits, but just the nature of omens increase the damage I take. It hurts. I will say it actually hurts. Onward to the next chapter. Now, so that was the end of like a basic run of Skul the Hero Slayer, but imagine the heart from Slay the Spire. You actually have the chance to do a fight that is like a prowess check, like how good the build is. And there's 2 parts to it. The first part is, well, 3 parts, I guess, if you have the secret stuff. The first part is you get a secret inscription, which is meant to like fine-tune the build. You do not get your Death Defiance back, unfortunately. So the first one gains additional effects when activating a bone inscription, depending on the bone items that you own. We have 2. So I have no idea what this does. Increase magic attack by 25% and attack speed whenever you swap. Has a 25% chance to refresh the swap cooldown. Which, I guess in some ways, if living armor got like an instant amount of energy on swapping, this would be okay. Because it's like gradual, I think we'll do the swap and then swap back and then lose all of that energy. So I guess you go modified bone here. So 1 attack. That's an enhanced effect. Oh, the thing itself is enhanced. When casting a skill, do Mana Storm does damage based on balance skulls. Activating a bone inscription effect will make it stronger. So we have to do the 3rd swap, I guess. The 3rd swap. So this is like the secret part of doing this. I'm like 99% sure this will kill me. But again, if I lose one more run to something like this, I actually don't mind it that badly. Is that weird to say? Let's just get some energy. We're not full on energy. I probably should have made myself full. I think I'm scared. I do believe I am petrified. I got command grabbed. Surely you all saw there was a command grab coming. I literally cannot see the boss in there. Just abusing my iframes as much as possible. The issue is that he will chase you upward. I have no idea what he's doing. Wasn't I invulnerable? I did the swap. Alright, phase 2. That's fine. I knew I wasn't gonna win that because A, one more run coming back to Skul after not playing for a long time, it's hard. It is a hard game. And then B, it's just like so much damage coming in without a defensive layer at all. We lost all the Death Defiances. So any defensive layer would be like healing, damage reduction, shielding. We had none of that. It's basically glass cannon. And it's fun. I will say that is genuinely entertaining. But best assured, realize that you can die. Either way, though, that was one more run of Skul the Hero Slayer. If you like roguelikes, check out the main channel, v.me, on YouTube, because you may be seeing this for the first time. Outside of that, roguelikes hopefully every single day, except maybe like 2 days a week we take off. If you enjoyed what you saw, subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, letting me know what other roguelikes you'd like to see. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time.